Sandy Says Read. Hello there and welcome to the channel. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to read to you. I know a couple of my author friends have said that we should do author readings on our channels. I thought, okay. Of course, this was back in like July that we discussed this. So it's taken a little while to actually execute the plan. Tonight I'm going to be reading from My Faerie Valentine. I'm doing this in time for Valentine's Day. I printed out the scene that I want to read because my eyes are not as great as I want them to be. You can see that it's not that difficult. The print is not that difficult to read. It's fine, but to do a reading like this, I would rather have the printout, because the printout I can make the type bigger, better, all that good stuff. Here we go. All right, this is an excerpt from chapter 6 of My Faerie Valentine. It's available now wherever fine books are sold. Let's see the setup. In the middle of chapter 6, we have Roger picking up Melody from a store in Colorado Springs. We also have Caleb the vampire, hence the teeth. He's speaking telepathically to Roger a bit in this scene. I happen to love those two, their interactions. Okay, enough of that. Let's start. Melody continued her shopping and made her way to the cheeps and beeps coming from the blue-lit area of the back. This is where Roger Caston found her when he arrived. Roger wasn't sure why he didn't text her first. Maybe he didn't want to disturb her while she shopped. Maybe he wanted to go into the store to spend more time with her. Maybe he was so rattled by anticipation of seeing her that he couldn't think straight. Whatever the reason, he parked the Rose Chateau 4x4 near the pet shop and opened the door with the strangely shaped bell announcing his entrance. "Welcome to Birdstop," a woman called. To his surprise, a volley of bird voices called, "Hello! Welcome to Birdstop! Welcome!" and ended with one saying, "Get out!" "Peps, come on," the store owner said. "Hi, I'm picking up one of your customers." The lady pointed toward the back, and Roger meandered through the shelves of food bags and travel carriers until he felt his world shift. He planted his feet, knees locked, and one hand slowly reached to rest on top of a 25-pound bag of Hagen Tropican parrot food to steady himself against quickening heart rate. His vision tunneled to Melody, brushing a lock of unruly bangs behind her ear. The soft brown waves were interrupted by the bulk of the overcoat she wore. Pressing into the fabric of the coat a canvas bag of goods pulled against her arm. In her ungloved hand she carried one of the store's baskets laden with a variety of pale-hued bags. A soft blue biolight spotlighted all of this as if a heavenly beacon shone on her, highlighting her for him, saying, "Here, look, behold this woman we've set in this place for you." His hearing picked out her voice, speaking sweetly to the small bird in front of her. The tone of her voice suggested a kindness, a patience he had not heard from another person in years. She spoke to the birds as if they would understand she was complimenting their beeping abilities and their tiny toes, as if they were the most important creatures on the earth and they needed to know it. His lungs began to ache for the breath from her voice, filling them with that same positive, essential message. When she stood upright and turned to him, her smile brightened from sweetness to recognition. He couldn't move. No part of his body would release him from absorbing this scene. She offered a quizzical look, and then held up one finger, as if suggesting he continue standing still, as if he had a choice in the matter. To his surprise, she whipped her cell phone from her purse and held it up. It flashed as she snapped his picture. She grinned wickedly at him. "Now I have a picture to go with your name in my phone." He shook his head slightly, forcing his brain to reset. "Get it together, man," Caleb's voice growled in his head. "You must drive back with her in the vehicle. This new maid is irritating Jenna. She's got to go, and I can't find Lisa or track down Kelly to have her fired." Roger sighed while the rambling continued in his brain. Yes, I think I'm needed back at the chateau, but I don't want to rush you." "Rush her," Caleb's voice insisted. "No problem. I've got the stuff I need here. Just talking to the birdies. Come look at these little dudes." He obeyed. His legs carried him to her side, where the hint of floral scent of her mixed with the fruity scent of the birds' food in front of them. The fluffy yellow birds cheeped and hopped from perch to perch, as if nervously seeking the safest advantage to observe the giant humans looming before them. "Look at this skinny one," she said, pointing without moving her hand too close to the cage. "I bet he sings like Bocelli." "Ah, these are canaries then." "Yep, I've always wanted a canary, but I'm afraid I'll screw it up." "How would you screw it up?" he asked. "They have different needs than a parrot. And look at those tiny feet. I just fear I'd provide things all wrong and the little dude would be miserable or sad or something." "I think he'd be happy for getting to live with you," Roger said. The voice in his head choked back some kind of surprise. "Stop. Just come on back home," Caleb suggested. She smiled at him. "Just because I know how to care for a sun conure doesn't mean I know how to care for all birds. But I appreciate your vote of confidence. Thanks. Let me check out and I'll be ready to go." And that's the end of that part. Yay! Get your copy of My Faerie Valentine today. I love Roger and Melody. It's their story in book 2. Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that was entertaining. Subscribe. And I'll read another passage another time. Thanks.